Guys, we're seeing a lot of recent action with Bitcoin. Looks like some severe levels might be going down, but today we do want to just give respects to Charlie Munger. He was an expert in the finance industry. He was a titan within that industry, and some of you might have a little criticism. He was behind on tech, but when new technologies release in your mid-80s, I'll ask you, how much are you going to be on that forefront? So we just have nothing but respect for Charlie Munger here. This is Discover Crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
Bitcoin has fallen below 38K. We see chat just going crazy. Yeah, we just lost a very, very important level of support. We're going to be looking at the charts later. We got a lot of stories we got to get into. But first, also this very, very funny Ronaldo story, guys. We're going to bring up the old photos of the old statues. You want to stick around for that as well. But first, let's just pay a little respects for Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger, Bitcoin's fierce opponent. He breathed his last breath yesterday. This happened live during ATB, so we didn't really get to cover it on the show too much about halfway through the episode. But the financial world says goodbye to Charlie Munger, the longtime right-hand man of Warren Buffett. He was a fierce Bitcoin critic. However, you got to remember Bitcoin released when he was like 83 years old, everybody. So new technology launches when you're 83 years old. Maybe you might not understand it as well as someone that's 23 or 33 years old. Well, he was the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. That is Warren Buffett's investment company. And he died the age of 99 yesterday. Berkshire Hathaway was a failed textile company until Buffett had turned to an investment powerhouse with a $785 billion stock market valuation. Munger, who had been vice chair of the company since 1978, he amassed a net worth of $2.6 billion, received constant recognition for sticking to a sensible stock picking and investing attitude while at Berkshire. Munger, well known for his success and finance market and negative views of Bitcoin. In his public remarks, he expressed disapproval of Bitcoin, calling it disgusting and antithetical to the interests of civilization. I would say inflation is antithetical to the interests of civilization, but that's just where me and him differ a little bit.
There's I think he also called it rat poison. I think it was, or maybe that might have been out of Warren Buffett's mouth. But you got to remember, guys, these guys getting early on project was getting early on like chocolate factories. This was a whole nother lifetime. These are people that were born before World War II and during the Great Depression. So yeah, just the utmost respect. Berkshire Hathaway absolutely killed it. Seas Candy was like an 8,000% gain for Charlie Munger.
He was born during the gold standard, so he doesn't really understand the pains of inflation that we understand as well.
He was 40 plus years old when the gold standard when we came off the gold standard.
Yeah. And not only that, the first act in 1931 when we went from gold to silver. Am I correct with that, Drew? 31 gold to silver, technically. All right, 33. Okay. You know what, guys? All right. Well, that's all I got today. All right. Well, I actually pulled up the rat poison quote. This is Bitcoin is $150 in 2013, and he famously declared, "I think it's rat poison." So it's actually more costly rat poison. And when asked to review his remark 5 years later, Bitcoin was then $9,000. So that's when he said, "No, now it's just more costly rat poison." Well, I guess at 37,000, it's just the world's most expensive rat poison. 69K, I don't even want to know what he would have to say at that point. But it was a little bit behind on tech. I think they're kind of known for that. They missed the boat with Apple. They missed the boat with, I think they sold some Microsoft a little early, Google, I think as well. So they're just not known for being on the forefront of tech.
And I just don't understand why people would even trash on that. I mean, we're talking about some of the greatest investors of the last generation. In fact, the last 3 generations. This man was almost 100 years old. He would have turned 100 on New Year's Day. Again, this is like back when the oil boom. Again, I was talking about the chocolate factories. That was a huge thing. They made an 8,000% gain on Seas Candy. You're not going to do that today, right? So the technological advancements, it just makes sense. And like you said in the beginning of this, when we started off, is like, if you guys were 86 years old, I would like you to try to see if you can put on an AR headset and step into virtual reality. That's not going to happen. In fact, it might give you a heart attack. So, there is with that. But, on the bright side of news today, we do have very bullish expectations starting to set up on the charts. However, that doesn't mean we just go up only and to the right, guys. Bitcoin surges past 38K. Now it's actually just down a little bit below this, and we're going to get to the charts in a second on what we're looking for. But Bitcoin breaks through 38K barrier, nearing its annual peak. The cryptocurrency sets a 52-week closing record, indicating a strong uptrend. Anticipation of the upcoming Bitcoin halving and potential ETF approval fuels investors' interest. So I know we all have this FOMO. We're all expecting, there's a lot of bullish announcements. You have now Hong Kong even looking to access the spot ETF markets. Of course, we're like months away from more than likely the approval of this ETF itself. Even though there's a lot of momentum, a lot of hype, you guys do need to pay attention to the liquidation. So when you guys see 2, 3, 4, 500, some people 2,000% gains, you need to just be like set off those flags, man. Take some profits and realize that a healthy retracement is very much needed right now. And I think you have the highlighted parts of this with the technical indicators.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the 4-hour right now, and Bitcoin is kind of curving too. It looks like a little bit of a curvature is starting to form on the 4 hours. So I would just be a little bit careful. Real quick though, I want to share. This is from our Discord. We got one of the smartest Discords in the land. Everybody, great traders in there, just great macro analysis. This is from Corduroy. And let us know your corduroy thoughts in chat as well. Corduroy, kind of expensive, I learned during Cyber Monday. I was like, well, I thought that was a cheap fabric. But anyways, this is from Corduroy talking about Bitcoin's price and what this means in the short term. For the people that are wondering, all right, well, we kind of broke this key level. I don't want to know what's happening in April 2024. I want to know what's happening at, the fall of 2025. What does this mean today? So let's talk about this. All right, move up this morning was entirely perps driven. Longs opening with leverage at resistance. This is key here. Spot has to start buying to match this to continue to push out of the range. Bitcoin has been stable for a month, but a pickup in volatility here will damage the momentum of altcoins. Even if this does push higher, DeFi and low caps will be more resilient, but mid to large caps could struggle. If we do move higher, then alts will get wrecked against Bitcoin anyway. So this is the key. You might gain percentage in fiat, but you're going to get wrecked against Bitcoin. So alts will get wrecked against Bitcoin as Bitcoin will eat up all the liquidity. There'll be plenty of time to jump back into alts when Bitcoin settles again. Basically, keep your risk in line. We could easily get an aggressive push up to take out the early short traders. 37.8 must hold, or a quick move down to 36K becomes likely. Well, guess what, everybody? It did not hold, but now it's just kind of battling right now. 37.841. Really close to that level. So we're watching that 37.841. We're $41 away. So very key level. This analyst saying quick move down to 36K. What do you think about that? If quick move down to 36K, are alts going to get wrecked relative to Bitcoin?
I mean, most definitely. Now, what's wrecked in terms of the grand scheme of things? We're looking at a liquidation of 36K. That might be a few percentage points on Bitcoin. That could be 10, 15, 20% on altcoins. So for just the years of experience that I know we both have in crypto at this point, we know there's one thing that always generally leads to losing money, and that's FOMOing into a giant green, pillar or candlestick on the charts. But obviously, with the momentum in this industry, that might be where I'm looking to accumulate here, because you even had market strategists at BMO Capitals come out here, and they're now optimistic about the trajectory for U.S. stocks in 2024, which is very interesting seeing the market reacting here. Because obviously with the Fed pivot, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. When the Feds traditionally pivot, that is generally when we get a downside in that market. It comes almost within either months, if not weeks. You'll see a little bit of a drawback or a significant drawback in those markets. But BMO capital markets are optimistic. They believe that 2024 is in fact extremely bullish. And by extremely bullish, guys, the S&P 500, they're saying this could potentially reach 5,100 points by the end of 2024. Now, I know a lot of us are crypto here, but that indicates a 12% increase on just our traditional stocks.
And I pulled up the 5-year chart here. You can see even in the excess liquidity flowing around in the markets, the November, the Q4 2021 level, we only got a little bit close to 4,800, 47. So yeah, a nice little move up to the upside. It hit 5,100 there. For sure.
And so that's obviously, that's looking definitely bullish right here, for at least from the market and how they're looking to price in the market moving into 2024. On the indicator side here, though, moving into the charts, whales moving that $443 million, in Bitcoin and Ethereum in just one day. There is volume coming back in. For people saying that there is zero volume in these markets, yeah, there is a lot less volume than we traditionally had in like 2021, but there's a lot less supply. There's a lot more financial products and OTC that's taking place. There's a lot more accumulation. There's a lot more long-term holders. Why? People understand that this is the narrative that we are seeing in this industry. It's Jamie Dimon. It doesn't matter if, people like Charlie Munger were mad for years about Bitcoin, or Jamie Dimon is still mad for years about Bitcoin. Larry Fink just changed his mind. These are all people that lived and preached that Bitcoin was not the future for nearly a decade. And now they're all coming into these markets, and we all called it, right? We all expected this. So, it's not catching any bears' eyes, or short-term holders' eyes. And this is why we just got to watch the liquidations on the charts moving to that 36K level, like you said. And I'll pull up the liquidations here after I think we have Kelly on in just a second. Go for it.
Oh, I was going to say NFT. I know it's not financial advice, but what alt token to put my money on? Guys, we're dropping a lot of videos on altcoins. I got a very degen 10K video that's coming out. I'm working on a Cardano, top 5 coins in Cardano, but then I'm also working on another one, top 5 just crypto experts' favorite coins. So I'm going to be looking at some crypto experts, some of your favorite channels, Alex Becker, Elio, Supoman, a couple other banter. So we got 1 or 2 more that is going to be in there. So we'll be just keep an eye out, turn on notifications, and you'll see our altcoin picks dropping.
Yeah, and Edmonton said that the FOMO hasn't even started yet. What I like to say, guys, is if you start a bull run or a market or investment with emotion, you're going to end in emotion. So you don't want to come into the top of that roller coaster and just catch every single dip and top and just keep doing the opposite of what you need to.
Yeah.
But still just be consciously aware and emotionally aware of the market at every given point. Kraken, Tether together, 90 million USDT, guys. $92 million transferred from Tether Treasury to Kraken. I know you love watching these whale alerts, but what do you traditionally see with just your experience?
In layman's terms, you see something like that. So someone, they're going to say print. Someone got $90 million cash. This is all, theoretical here. They gave it to Tether, some bank account in the Caymans. I'm just kidding. Again, you got 90 million, you give it to Tether. Tether then spins up 90 million. Well, they have that 90 million in USDT, and they go straight to an exchange with it. Why would you bring $90 million to an exchange if you weren't trying to buy $90 million worth of crypto? So then the question becomes, is this just a Bitcoin whale scooping up a bunch of Bitcoin? Is this biz dev? Is this, Polygon's latest corporate partner? What's going on? Is just an ETH, ETH ETF anticipation? Is a big hedge fund, maybe trying to get a lot of ETH so they can start staking? But either way, all these are bullish scenarios. Yeah. It is all very bullish.
I was going to say, yeah, seeing that increase in inflow into stable coins, guys, this is an early sign for a lot of traders. And in the previous years, they looked for this to see a bottom in the market. In this case, we all know the bottom was around that FTX cycle. CZ barely even scratched the market at this point. So seeing just this influx of capital and USDT to exchanges is showing us that whales and these massive, whether it's whales or institutions, are getting ready to accumulate crypto. And that is going to cause what a lot of people believe to be the supply shock, right? We're seeing a reduction in the supply of altcoins, of crypto, Bitcoin, etc., off these exchanges, and that could be what allows us to prop up to the 40K level.
We do have one more whale story here. Then I think we have Kelly working. I saw BJ was down there in the lab. I mean, Kelly, give us a thumbs up if everything's working down there. All right. So we'll look at this Bitcoin whale story. Then we're gonna throw it to Kelly. Me and Johnny were looking at this, found it pretty interesting here. Bitcoin whale soars to a 72nd rank in 2 weeks, gathering over 10K Bitcoin amid the ETF buzz.
Thanks for exposing me like that.
Go ahead and guess who it is. Is it Josh? We don't know. Well, the mystery whale wallet rocketing to the top of the Bitcoin ranks here. BC1QC. Oh my God, is it XQC, the famous streamer? Maybe. I mean, he got a lot of that. Let's say just gambling money, I could say. Initially spotted Halloween, so they're starting on a spooky day as well. Made his first move by acquiring 100 Bitcoin, then 10 days got 730. Now we're looking at it's one of the top 500, securing 492. Keeps growing, and right now $397 million worth of Bitcoin.
Look, all I can say is I want to be top 50 whale by the end of the year. So that's my goal with my portfolio right here. So
they are looking into it. Arkham Intelligence, OXT, but I don't know who it is. It's unidentified, and the entity behind it, shrouded in mystery. What does that mean? It's like a Scooby-Doo villain? I don't know what that means. So we don't know. But it's fun to guess. It's fun to speculate. I don't know. I like having just a good time speculating.
Yeah, do
with
we think
things
it's
like
a
this.
3-letter agency? Is it the government out to get you?
If I had to guess, I would say maybe, we're seeing a lot of movement in Dubai and a lot of regulation. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just some sort of Dubai fund. That would be my guess. It's a Middle Eastern money. That's my guess.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it could also be many different things too. It's like as these institutions come in, you don't think they're all talking to their boards, and one thing slips out to another friend or another cocktail party. You know, they're like, oh hey, we're coming in early January. Yeah, it could be anything with this money.
All right. Well, speaking of coming in, we got someone coming in through the basement right now. I don't know. He's in the laboratory. He's got some beakers. He took off his hazmat suit. Now he's ready to give us the alpha, I think.
Hey, I just hope that there's no issues with the connection this time. I don't know if it's a new iOS update or operating system update or what, but I'm going to be quick. I got some really good bullish news.
You haven't been huffing that neon in the background, have you?
No, I'm over here just drinking water, doing push-ups.
All right. I'm going to smell that water later. All right. I'm smelling the cup.
So I'm going to be quick here just because we're going to fix this. And by the way, everybody in the chat, if you guys want to, if you'd rather see me be like the crypto weatherman live with the touch screen, we're going to be getting that going here relatively soon.
Yeah,
I'm going to be coming. You guys are going to let me out of the basement. Now, this is what I want to talk about.
You ever see those clips,
right
not
here.
to derail it too much, you ever see those clips where the announcers learn that it's like a touch screen, or they learn that they could zoom like live, like while they're, wait a minute, I can move it, and they're like almost have tears of joy. It's like so fun to them. So I want to see that level of enthusiasm, Kelly. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're seeing that level of enthusiasm with
nice segue.
Exchange net flows, basically showing coins moving off of exchange. And Willie Woo pointed out here, Bitcoin flows presently making a strong flip to moving off exchanges again. Haven't seen such a swing towards buying, meaning coins coming off of exchange, long-term minded sort of narrative since the market bottom. Now, what I wrote here is people moving coins into their own custody, effectively moving liquidity out of the market. Liquidity means the ability to quickly transact. If it's not liquid, that means this drives up demand effects and creates a strong case for bull behavior. Now, similarly, with this chart from Sentiment, this is powerful right here. This is more important than any technical analysis chart you can see. And this shows that Bitcoin's supply on exchanges has continued moving into self-custody as exchange reputation continues to diminish. Meanwhile, the 10 largest Tether exchange wallets hold 15.23 billion, pushing exchange buying power to its highest level in 17 months. This is liquidity available now to be deployed into buying the assets in the crypto market. Stable coins are directly correlated to being prepared to navigate the crypto space. So when you see a huge influx or a large growth in stable coins on exchange, and you're also seeing negative exchange net flow, this is what you want to see. We teach all about this in BitLab Academy as well. And before we get into some TA, we're right on pace. We're exactly where we should be. Now, if we get a dip or a pump, regardless of any of that, I think we're going to find ourselves somewhere around equilibrium when we get towards the halving. But where we're sitting right now, don't fret, zoom out. Look, we're right on target. Now, I'm going to keep it super simple today because I think this is when the thing gets a little choppy. We've got a lot of liquidity washing out both directions. Move down. Not only do we have a W here, if you really zoom in on this, we have three W's, double bottoms. We have a W here, we have a larger W, and we have a smaller. This was saying that the price action was trying to push to the upside. It did. Now we have an M formation, double top, and a larger M formation, but we had a bearish divergence on the stochastics here on the BitLab trend fuel, indicating right here that this was likely going to break down, and this was signaled in many ways. Bearish divergence, momentum bearish divergence, RSI bearish divergence, and we had a lot of red here signaling bearish signals on the BitLab trend fuel. But then when we drop here on this retrace up, we get a lower high. That was another, for scalpers out there, that was another signal that this was likely going to be working its way down. Now, these are the three most important levels I'm watching right here. And that is this 37,526, which is basically the neckline of this previous W, and also major trend line we've been talking about for months here that this is just struggling at. And I go into great detail this on the BitLab morning show today. But then this is that level I'm really watching, 350. If we lose this, I don't think this necessarily telegraphs it's going to go all the way back down to 33. But if we lose this, this is at minimum going to signal some sort of liquidity washout to the downside. So anything that drops below this, I'm scaling in, starting to add some buy orders, basically taking advantage of lower price action if that happens. Because as we've seen with all the metrics, exchange net flows, stablecoin supply ratios going up, bullishness, where we're at, halving coming, just around the corner. Everything is suggesting that we are right on track for an incredible 2024. So I do want to say before I go, we have a huge discount and giveaway we're doing with BitLab Academy. It's a holiday sale. You get 3 months for 50% off. And not only that, if you come over to the BitLab page, and I'm going to drop it in the chat right here, retweet this. If you guys want to pin this, there's going to be 3 winners, get lifetime access. Retweet 3 lifetime winners. If you retweet this, we're going to be drawing tomorrow on the show. So come over here, retweet this tweet, and we'll get involved. And that's all I got for you. The market's telegraphing everything that it's going to be doing if we just allow ourselves to have strategy and not be held hostage by our emotions.
Not being held hostage by our emotions. That's the number one thing you can do in crypto to better your gains, but hardest thing to master, I would say.
Absolutely. But you guys are doing a great job. I'll see you.
Kelly.
I got some in my throat.
Gesundheit. But speaking of velocity, guys, here, moving to, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's velocity hits historically low level as Standard Chartered renews laser-eyed focus. I love this article right here. This is awesome just to show. For you guys that don't know, Bitcoin's velocity has fallen. And what the velocity is going to be a measure of how frequently the digital asset is traded or used for transactions. This stands at a historically low level, according to Analysts. Now, that sounds bearish. However, analysts observed a contrast between the current Bitcoin velocity and the average recorded in the last cryptocurrency bear market in 2018 and 2019, the good old days. Historically low Bitcoin velocity indicates a significant change in sentiment compared to the last bear cycle. And that is because investors are reluctant to sell, that buyers are seeking out new supply. So with that, I'm very curious to know from you guys in the chat, if we were to break these levels, and let's say we break below 36K, what are the prices you're looking to buy at? What would you buy at? And of course, are you going to actually buy at those levels? Are you looking for a 25K, 28K? Because if not, we are at these ranges, and projects or velocity, I guess, here is looking to move higher.
Let's play that out. I redrew Kelly's 2 trend lines right here, and this is the first one. Now, this is a little bit of a speculation. We're assuming it would kind of, it wouldn't be straight down. If it was straight down, it happened right now in just 1 hour candle, 33,829. But what I expect is a little bit more of a curvature. I don't expect it to just be a straight shot to the downside. If it happened, let's just say around this point, you're looking at 36,220. I would be a little bit more comfortable deploying some capital.
One? You said 33,000?
If it just teleported straight down like today, it would go all the way down to like 33,600. But it'll take, this is the daily candle. It would take a few daily candles, maybe even several, to then fall back that far. So I would just be a little bit careful. Like I was saying earlier, you see a little bit of a curvature here on the, this is the daily. You also saw it on the 4 hour. Last time we saw that, everybody was around here. You saw a little bit of a downside for a couple months right there. And then we saw it here as well. But let me just point one thing out. We then went up one more leg, and then we ended up dropping down on a gradual trend line all the way from April to, we'll just say it stopped here, April to June. So another multi-month trend line to the downside. Just be careful. Maybe it's okay to have some dry powder on the sidelines right now. I wouldn't just be FOMOing in and just deploying all your capital.
Yeah, something I would definitely be watching out for is going to be the spot ETFs, because these are looking to be approved, guys, by Q1 of 2024. And there's multiple investors. I'm going to skip ahead 2 stories and then go back just for the chronological order here. But $1.5 trillion, Franklin Templeton filed an update to their Bitcoin ETF application. And now all the Bitcoin ETFs are now aligned for an approval by the 10th of January. So I've actually spoken to multiple Bitcoin litigators on just different live streams that analyze the bond markets and ETF filings and everything that are just being pursued through the SEC. And they all kind of are looking for this guide between January 7th and 10th, which means, guys, that does feed back into the Santa rally. That does feed into the fact that people are going to react positively to any news or adjustments that come out with these ETFs as they anticipate one. So, while markets move up in this next month, if they move up in this next month, based off this on this theory, I would really be cautious what actually happens on January 7th or 10th, because if the 10th comes around and the SEC does what? Not decide to pass this, that could actually be what pulls these markets back down, despite where the levels are, the liquidations and everything, because that would just be based off retail.
Well, Eric from Bloomberg, he's the senior Bloomberg ETF analyst. He just tweeted 2 hours ago. This is breaking, so this is really good stuff here. People are asking me if we changed our odds on ETF approval. No, we still holding the line at 90% odds of approval by January 10th. I've talked about him and James, basically been holding the line on this. These are the same odds we've had for months before it was cool or safe. What we're watching for now, more amended filings to roll in and clarity on the in-kind versus cash creates. But this is the important follow-up tweet. But the important thing, or the imp thing, maybe he plays a lot of D&D, I don't know. But the important thing that gets lost in the debates over the exact dates and comments and timelines is that the SEC and the banks are working hard behind the scenes to get these ETFs ready to go this cycle. This cycle is January 10th, not the Bitcoin cycle. So they're saying ETFs ready to go by January 10th, which most said wouldn't happen. That's the bottom line. Give me what's Stone Cold say after that?
I'm very curious on, actually, I don't even remember, but I'm very curious on where that 90% comes from. Like, is that based off the ETF filings that BlackRock's had in the past? Is that based off just the overall insight that they have with the SEC conversations
I would say this is more a human psychology question. They probably feel closer to 99%, 98%, but they want to give themselves that out. So they say 90%. So they're well above 50%. In fact, they're probably around 99%, but they're not 100% certain. When you work for Bloomberg, you're the senior ETF guy, you have to kind of hedge your bet, say, I said 90%.
Look, hey, don't shoot me, guys. I'm just a messenger. It's like, I completely agree with that, because people don't realize, this is something we really have to pay attention to, guys, because if that happens on January 10th, these do not get approved, then it gets pushed to March. And then if those don't get approved, it gets pushed to May. And it's like, this can keep getting delayed. And while I'm optimistic on it, I believe that they're going to come before the Bitcoin halving, is because if I was a greedy financial institution that just take advantages of retail on a daily basis, the best time to launch that ETF would be right around the Bitcoin halving, so they can go market with all the financial advisors.
Let me ask you a question here, Josh. What are the odds that we do not get a pullback before January 10th? Because that's Max Pain. Max Pain isn't, I have a coin and the price fell. The Max Pain is, you should have bought lower and it just keeps going higher and higher and higher and you miss your point, and then eventually you're going to capitulate and FOMO right at the very top. But Max Pain is sitting at the sidelines and waiting for the dip that never came.
Yeah, and I think that's actually highly probable, because what started this rally in the first place? It was a false article released from Cointelegraph.
Let's put some odds on it. What are the odds we don't go, let's say, below 36 before January 10th? I would say if we fall 1,000, I'm not really going to consider that a massive pullback. What are the odds we do not go below 35, 36 before January 10th? Zero pullback over the next 45 days.
I'd say I would put it like a 50%.
Okay.
For 33K, I would put like a 75%. I think that's going to be, there's a significant range there that we won't break through unless it has to get denied. Because right now everything's in anticipation of an ETF. That's where I'm looking at. And you see the consumer spending, you see the debt, they're all swiping their credit cards. They're like, oh my goodness, crypto, let's do it. They're up 400%, let's do it. Yep. So they feed into that narrative, and I think it's very high. We continue to move on up with the Sanders rally.
Eric Carl said, we better get a pullback soon or the halving price will suck. The halving price will suck relative to where it is on the date it happens to the top, right? You won't get that big multiple because it'll already be a little bit overbought at the time. What was the one question I was looking for here? Anyone remember the old Christmas movie, The Toy?
Isn't that
with Robin Williams?
Is that? No, I don't. That was wrong one then.
That's Toys.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay, yeah. Never mind. That was Toys. My bad.
Is The Toy Richard Gere? Or I'm sorry, Wilder? Gene Wilder? I can't remember. Anyways. All right, what do we got for the next one? Are we going to do the happiness thing?
Well, just a little bit before that, guys, off the ETF news, guess what? The SEC, everybody's favorite dad, Gary Gensler, calling for public feedback on risk exposure of spot Bitcoin ETFs. So Franklin Temptation Digital Holdings aims to list a spot Bitcoin ETF seeking approval from the SEC.
Wait, is this Gary Gensler phoning a friend because he doesn't know how to regulate?
He's phoning the public now. He's like, wait, hey, do you guys actually want this? And, he's requesting the public input on potential risks associated with the proposed Franklin bill or Bitcoin ETF. All I would be doing, guys, and I hope you in chat, I wish there was a link to this that we can just all reply with what our thoughts are. And we'd be like, the only risk is the downside of the US dollar. The only risks is you as SEC chair. I can imagine the feedback he's going to get from the public because it's very obvious that the public wants the approval of this ETF. We're the retailers that are like, hey, we're tired of you're being forced into being an accredited investor just to get part of an elitist, stock opportunity. Like, we want that opportunity. We want to be able to spend our money. We want to be able to invest it how we want to invest it. And so I don't know why he's doing this. What are your thoughts on that, DZ? I think
it's the grasping of straws. I think it's a little bit of that. Well, this is also just part of the official process. So there's always going to be the official process for the public to have their period of comments. So, just kind of making a little bit of a mountain out of the molehill there, if I had to say.
And it might lead to why 59% of Americans say money can buy happiness.
All right, I got a quote on that. People say, oh, that's so stupid. Money can buy. No. Here's the real alpha, okay? Money cannot buy happiness, but it'll sure as hell rent you some. That's about all it'll do, folks.
I've never seen somebody mad on a jet ski is I think the term I always hear. I don't know where that came from, but it's like,
that makes sense.
Ever seen somebody mad on a jet ski with a coconut, rum and coconuts, just mobbing through the Bahamas? I didn't think so. I think that seems pretty relaxing here. But Americans remain primarily positive regarding financial contentment despite the recent economic challenges.
It was
like
Tosh,
rising
Daniel
costs.
Tosh
That was a Daniel Tosh one?
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it was Tosh. I wasn't sure. It's funny.
So it was a good one. But the student loans, guys. So even though we have to pay a lot more money, I guess whatever article they're referring to says that we are happy. Many Americans believe that money can buy happiness and that the price tag for financial bliss is $1.2 million. Okay, then we got to change that in the students out here. But based on responses from 2,034 adults in the United States, the study revealed that a significant majority, 59%, affirmed that wealth is intricately linked to happiness. I'm going to take a long shot here and say whatever report that they took from these 2,000 adults, 70 to 80% of them are under the age of 28 and maybe haven't, realized that whole family ties and that family virtue just yet. But of course, this is where we have to explore this, guys. So new research explores that the state of joy in life and work, seeking to find out what it really takes to be financially happy. And, honestly, in chat, let me know what is a good number for you guys? Are you guys looking to just be stable? Do you guys want to just afford your things, take your, children to their favorites, pay for their sports? I know I used to play ice hockey. That was like $6,000 every quarter. I was like, okay, I'm costing my parents an arm and a leg for something I'm never going to commit to. This is interesting to see. So, of course, here's where I'm going to end with. According to the report, look at that. Look at me being right.
I'm still being I'm still in shock over $6,000 a quarter. I'm be throwing tuna cans at my son and give him a stick from outside and say, you know what? That's what you get, Billy.
Travel and hockey gear was disgustingly expensive with the hotels, and we were driving like 2 hours to each game. It was crazy. But I was right with the report, guys. 72%, according to the report, 72% of millennials assert that money is a gateway to happiness, closely followed by 67% from Gen Z and 58% from Gen X. Interesting report coming out here, which means millennials said they would need a net worth of 69 million to be financially happy. Gen Z and boomers only need about $1 million to be happy. So Gen Z would be $1 million, and boomers are comfortable with $487,000.
Well, look at the men and women difference here. Men declared net worth target of 1.4 million, women only 880K. So a pretty big difference there.
Does that mean all the videos?
Just greedy? We're just.
Yeah, well, does that mean all the videos about the women that are like, I need a man that makes $800,000? Is that lies?
I think those are outliers. So it lies in a way, right?
Tell me, those are setups. Those are fake. No.
Wait a minute. It's like they record 40 people and get the most shocking and hateful person.
They don't take all the real conversations. That's crazy. But,
I know.
Speaking of real economists, we have Steve Hanke out here today. U.S. dollar weaponization, guys, has powered record central bank gold purchases.
Can I just add on something? I've heard Costco gold has been flying off the shelves so much that they're actually overselling. Like they'll have only 10 bars in the store. Then, they might only actually have 8 or 9. And, people are like really, really up in arms trying to buy Costco gold. So,
I'd pull that up too, because I heard about that. I don't know if that was like this last year, if that was recent history. But guys, Steve Hanke, professor of applied economics at Johns Hopkins University, has discussed how U.S. policies have driven central bank gold purchases to record levels this year. In an interview, Hanke stated that these purchases were motivated by the weaponization of fiat currencies like the dollar, which has driven countries in de-dollarization mode to take refuge in gold. I now have a few thoughts about this, because if you haven't read Johns Hopkins books, I would just really recommend it. But either way, from the de-dollarization, this narrative comes around the BRICS narrative, which was coined by a economist at Goldman Sachs in 2004. It might have been a little bit earlier than that, but it was BRI, Brazil, Russia, and India, and emerging economies and investing into them. The term really ramped up in about 2010 once China came in. It might have been around the 08s. I don't have the exact timeline here, but it turned into this now alternative currency, or this alternative powerhouse to the United States. And that was highly due to the United States investing heavily into China all through the post-Soviet into the 90s and early 2000s. So this last 10 years, we've seen a huge argument that the dollar is going to collapse, that debt's going to pivot, that China and BRICS is going to overtake the world. And this is going to lead to gold purchases. So before you hop into the Costco article here, my first thoughts on this are just, the debt cycle takes decades, guys. This isn't like overnight at the snap of a finger that the dollar, you're going to just wake up one day and all of a sudden it is Venezuela and we have mass inflation, hyperinflation. Everybody's fighting and crime goes to the roof and we're all arguing over the deer in the neighborhood.
Teenagers hunting cats for food. That's usually where it ends up. And I know that's a dark sentence to say, but that's where it ends up. Honestly, that's where it ends up.
And that's kind of the fear that's like driven. It's just like those videos with the girls that are like, oh, I need a man that makes $800,000. Those are the videos that go on viral on your social media because they get the most clicks and they get the most views. So, just take that into account. And, I think if you have that story pulled up, I'm going to highlight some things right quick.
I'd love just one comment on this. Yeah, as we weaponize the dollar, gold will become more popular for Russia, for China, for these other countries. It's very, very obvious. So, I would say that's the main reason you're seeing the spike. You want to talk about spot demand? Sovereign nations, I would say that's a pretty big demand. This was just kind of summing it up. While there's a gold rush at Costco, I looked at some of the stats here. It's actually not even that cheap. It's a 4.3% markup over the spot price when they were selling it at this particular time. I think a lot of it is ease of use. And if I could kind of connect this to crypto, this is a really good example of difficult coins to buy is where the alpha is. All right, gold isn't that hard to buy. What's the most you got to do? You got to go to the local pawn shop. People would rather, it's just like, well, I don't know. It looks kind of sketchy. There's bars on the windows and guns everywhere, and it makes me uncomfortable. They're willing to pay a 4.3% markup to buy gold. Why? Because Costco is easier. And so when you have that coin that is hard to buy, you got to turn on a VPN. You feel like you're jumping through portals. That's where the opportunity is going to be. It might be on Binance a year later. It might be on Coinbase 2 years after that. That is when the opportunity is just going to vanish. Yeah. You want to, it's just more and more reason to hunt those hard to find coins. And it makes it, I'm doing some research. I saw a coin today I was looking at. I was like, oh, that's a huge pain in the butt to buy. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I've kind of talked myself into it. I think I'm going to go, I'm going to look into trying to cop it later.
Just pump before you get into it, right?
Yeah,
that's how it always
I'm stuck
happens.
here for another, 45 minutes at least. So the opportunity will melt away.
Yeah. So guys, you never know what the central bank is going to go do, but this is the quote here. You never know exactly what these central banks are going to do, but the trend right now is that a lot of central banks are buying. And the reason behind that is that there's a lot of uncertainty. Everything has become more politicized in the realm of fiat money. And this is incredibly bullish for crypto. We have a video that we'll be dropping on what is known as a commodity super cycle. This takes place every 10 to 15 years where you get commodities run and you get kind of this fiat run into stocks, et cetera, in traditional markets. And it just kind of flip-flops back and forth.
So Cecilia is the photo on the top of that headline. Does
here?
she, I thought you were on the next one there. Is she definitely wants you to eat the bugs, right?
She wants to eat. That is a World Economic face right there.
Yeah, so this is a Bank of International Settlements official here. Mm-hmm. I would say she looks like Davos elite.
I don't know if we're picking and choosing here, but I mean, yeah, that gives me Nicole Kidman vibes.
She was shut down your lemonade stand if she was your neighbor. I would say that safely.
Well, she wants to shut down.
Are those fair trade
note
lemons?
The fact that central banks, what was that?
Are those fair trade lemons?
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah.
Well, central banks, guys, have no interest in personal data. This is what she's claiming, that the BIS officially says while promoting CBDCs. Hey, guys, we don't want your data. We don't want you to own anything. Wait, did I just say that back to back? Because in fact, we want control of completely everything. So I don't know how you can even, that is just
a load of crap. I mean, say the headline without smirking. Central banks have no interest in personal data. Come on.
Yeah, we don't want your data. Can you scan your eyeball right here, fingerprint here? Can you spit in this tube for us? And she urged people.
All right. I'm a central bank official. Up, ring. The phone's ringing. Up. Who is it? It's the IRS. Hello, IRS. I'm CBDC official. Oh, you want a random crypto trader's information? Well, I have no interest in personal data. Wish I could help you. Click. No, they're going to be like, oh, what do you need? Okay, yeah, here's his birthday. Here's his IP address. Oh, you know he traded a shit coin 2 days ago? That's how it's going to go. They're going to have all your data. They're going to share it willingly. They want your data and they're going to sell it. They're going to give it to the government entities. Of course, CBDCs are going to be fraught with data collection.
I love her saying, or she urged people to stay open to technological innovation. Guys, if the government approaches you and it says, hey, this is innovative, this is technology, will you take an implant of a microchip from the government if they say that they're not tracking your own data? Would you trust them with that? That is a question I have for you guys. Moving on here, we have U.S. government releases statement by Binance while CZ bids a farewell here, guys. Binance gets a new CEO, Richard Tang, with CZ vacating the post active immediately. Binance will have to completely exit from U.S. markets in a deal with FinCEN, but Binance.US is unaffected, even though we've already been seeing it really kind of get pushed out. The United States Department of Justice has finally made an official statement on the charges against the largest crypto exchange, Binance, and its former CEO, Changpeng Zhao. The U.S. government reached a deal with both parties earlier today, with CZ pleading guilty to charges first, followed by the crypto firm. Moreover, the deal has also seen one of the most heaviest penalties imposed on a crypto entity, with Binance having to pay over $4 billion in total. And moreover, when CZ was required to pay a fine of $50 million, this will be directed to the CFTC for their resolve and their changes, etc. So, this is kind of just, we all know about this news. It's repetition at this point, but CZ is pleading guilty. They're going to be paying this $4 billion, I believe, over the course of the next few years. Richard Tang himself is honestly a goated replacement. This is someone who developed the regulatory framework for the ADGM, which is Abu Dhabi, guys, separate from Dubai. There's a separate emirate, but still the capital of the UAE. So he developed a lot of framework. And this is a guy that, when he joined in 2021, he left as CEO of the ADGM himself. So from a compliance standpoint, for people that think Binance is going to continue to get pushed out, like I said, I think while they got pushed out of the United States, I don't expect Binance to just cease to exist. I don't know.
And a hidden benefit, I would say, from this is Richard Tang. He has all these Eastern connection, Middle East connections. There's going to be the BlackRock style elites. They're going to see all that money pour into the Middle Eastern exchanges. And sure, maybe they have some exposure, but most of their exposure is in America. That's when they might lean on the SEC and say, hey, man, we need to be more like those people. Look how much money's pouring in. I want that money. So that would be the bull scenario. But I got another scenario here. Ready to talk about Ronaldo? I just want to show the one photo here.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo sued for promoting Binance, speaking of Binance, and unregistered securities. Hold on, I'm getting a call here. Breaking. Hold on. Okay, hello? Yeah. Oh, his punishment. Okay, I've just learned Ronaldo's punishment. Okay, they're sending me the file now. Okay, I'm opening it. He has to keep this bust in his living room? Okay, he has to keep it in his living room for the next 4 years, everybody. All right, whoa, man, that's unfortunate.
It's that, or it has to be his cellmate. I think that's a requirement here.
No, it's in his bed. Wakes up next to him like a horse head, Godfather
just
style.
Every morning.
Yeah, you got to kiss him goodnight, too.
Looks smooth, though, not going to lie. But, guys, this is wild, chat. I still can't believe this. There is a point where I'm like, okay, this makes no sense.
I have the best summation. Scott Melker tweeted out. We ain't got to read the article after we pull this up. So Scott Melker, this sums up the Cristiano Ronaldo Binance lawsuit and the American justice system. So, all right, here's him just kind of talking about the news with a cool little AI image. There's him, maybe him in his early 20s is a little bit more svelte there. So this is the summation of what is happening with Cristiano Ronaldo, if I'm saying that. So a non-U.S. citizen promoted an exchange not allowed to provide service to U.S. citizens, and U.S. citizens get to sue him for using a service they aren't legally allowed to use. Seems like a slam dunk. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, some of these celebrities that are like promoting their own cryptocurrency scam tokens, like there's a lot of influencers out there and celebrities that just literally launch a complete poo coin, whether it's after themselves, named after themselves, for themselves, whatever it is. There is people that need to be, we need to seek like regulatory enforcement against. But, in terms of just the close-up zoom in there, that's the exact space of some of these. But for someone like Ronaldo, like Binance is not one, of course, a US-based company. This is something that, their regulator should enforce. And by the time it gets to the point of promotion and a major soccer player is just taking a promotion because he was offered money for an exchange that's allowed to operate. It makes no sense for me to see them, come after these guys in the way that they do. I mean, of course, yeah, they're going to shill. They're taking a product, taking a promotion. That's how all of these NFLs, that's the NFL, that's the MLB, that's everything.
Yeah,
that's
they're
how it
really,
works.
really coming after him as much as that statue artist came after him. Well, was that was violence. That's, they said.
Was that like a really famous artist, or did they ask? Like,
I mean, it was just a very
kindergarten?
famous unveiling, just how bad it was.
Wait, are his eyes a representation of government oversight? Because you don't know where he's looking.
Oh wait, didn't it melt though, or something? Like it looked better. Was there a story behind that, or is it just ugly?
No, so we actually had a documentary in the film festival about this, and the guy tried to do his basically redemption arc and was able to make the statue again, and it was just as bad.
I remember that actually.
The artist is super sweet, but like he's haunted by this.
He's better than I can do, I mean, is he a Michelangelo? I don't know if anyone confused him for that, but he's better than me. So, I don't really have much criticism for the guy. Or you want to look at it one more time there, Josh?
No,
all
it's
right.
just it's haunting me. I'm gonna think about that all day now. Like, his eye is just like he's hurting. He's hurting.
Is XNA in our radar? It is not. I'll check it out though. As Josh looks at this story.
Yeah, Nur AI. It's been pumping pretty hard. I've seen a lot of influencers talk about it. I don't necessarily know a lot about it. It's one like maybe that will fit into the YouTuber token video that you're working on.
I hate chasing an AI or gaming pump today.
Yeah.
Maybe in a week it'll look a little bit better. Just look at what is AI going to do? Look at what it did 12 months ago. Wow, it was 12 months ago when ChatGPT, so 11 months ago, it came out in December of last year. So yeah, look at what AI tokens did the last run up.
It was like, it's been running for the last month, like up 500%. But look at the market cap, right? Like, so this was one I saw a lot. I saw a few TikTokers talk about, a few YouTubers talk about. And they, there's this trajectory, and this is going to fall under that YouTuber influencer category of where that market's gaining from. It's just a lot of hype around it. So I don't know enough about the project. I'm not saying this is a bad project whatsoever. You just got to understand, it's a red flag for me. Like, for example, what we just happened with the decentralized science industry. Whenever you get like influencers start like DMing you saying, hey, what should I buy? What should I pick up? What should I put money into? And then, hey, I'm going to tag you in a video today. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to shout you out. It's like, okay, well, now this is sparking a trend. And that trend has no foundation under it. It's all based off a tweet or just because some viral creator talked about it. So all I'd have to say to that is, again, guys, while you see any cryptos like this is going to happen in a bull run, and this is nothing. You're going to see 20x's, 30x's, etc. When you see those happen, just remember, take profit. If you're already in, take out the initial. If you're up 200%, why not take out the initial investment and let the rest ride like Houseman? It makes just think that way. No man went broke. Ever taking profit. And that's very important to understand.
Yeah, careful chasing narratives. There are like narratives in the background that are a little bit more important. Narrative in the foreground would be Elon did something with AI, and now a totally unrelated AI crypto project is pumping because of an Elon comment. And you're like, well, I don't know how connected that is in my mind here, but there's narratives in the background that will lead to safer gains, maybe not as many X's. Here's one from Santiment. Crypto's top coins by development activity. Notable GitHub commits in the past 30 days. So maybe look for a disparity between GitHub commits and market cap. So where you've seen a lot of activity where the market cap doesn't really, hey, it seems like it's a little undervalued there. I would say these are more of the long-term, safer narratives you could follow. This is something I would be comfortable deploying capital in today. AI and gaming, I'm not deploying today, personally. That's just
it's always cool to see Polkadot and Kusama leading. They're always leading the development activity, which is interesting to see because this is like the quiet one. They're the silent people. This is Gavin Wood, creator of Solidity and early founder of Ethereum. Seeing them always trend as the top of the category for this, but get like no hype and community that I see on like Twitter. They're, like the dot community is not as strong as the Cardano or even like H bars, for example, but they're always leading in terms of development. So the next step would be, okay, well, what is this development? Is this a bunch of just random transactions, et cetera, development that's being built on it, or is it real? But Polkadot and Kusama's the test net. I think they just continuously grow and scale with their parachain.
What? Normally we wouldn't do some of this degen on the morning stream, but you know what? I just kind of glance real quick, and then I'm looking out here. You can see the market cap. It's kind of hard to see, so maybe you got to squint like me. There is a market cap that's kind of low, and that's Status. While even though Status is number 5 with commits, and then you look here. Maybe. So if you wanted to follow that strategy, I would research this one. I haven't researched it, so I'm not saying buy it. I don't have any. Just be careful out there. It might fall 40% over the next 7 days, but that'd be what I would do.
Clip it. No, I'm just
Watch it double. All right, so I'm so bearish. It's now gonna, it's gonna go the other direction probably.
Hey, we have an analyst though, guys. Miles Docher. I think I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I might just totally butcher that, but really awesome guy. I actually know him on TikTok and I've talked to him a few times here. But he announced the 8 altcoins he will follow this week, and he posted us on his Twitter account. So this is a live reaction. I haven't seen this list yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
So perfect. So number 1, guys, Injective. Let me know in the chat. Type spam 1 in the chat if you hold that Injective protocol. I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I do actually agree with Injective. This is, the built utilizing the SDK with interoperability on Cosmos. When you're looking at a DeFi project, Injective has led the bear market by a lance. I mean, they're one of the largest movers. Despite even when we were moving into the spot ETF hype, they were already moving up in a high direction. I don't know if you hold INJ, if that's a thought you like.
I don't. It's been a little toppy, if I'm not mistaken here. Just I'm pulling up the 90-day. Yeah, so I look at the 90-day here, and that's just not really a coin. Yeah. I'm super keen on getting in on. So you can see on the low, it was $6, and right now it's 16, close to a triple in 3 months. A lot of coins have tripled in 3 months, but there's coins that have only 1.5x that I would say are as strong. So I'm looking for those coins personally.
Yeah. And guys, again, take profits. You guys know what to do. But Pipe Network right here, this one's brand new, which is interesting. And by the way, I don't own any of these tokens either, but stating that Pipe is an interesting position in the market. He said that the analyst stated that the Solana tokens such as Jupiter and Jitto could be competitors in front of Pipe. Now, actually, I would really pay attention to Solana's DeFi ecosystem, decentralized exchanges, the DeFi lending protocols, whatever you're looking for. Solana's got a lot of development. It's going to continue to scale.
If you look at the Pipe chart, I wouldn't mind buying this and just kind of talk you why. This is very, very new, launched a week ago, folks. So this is new. 9 days ago, this is a 9-day old coin. But when you look right here, it was close to 55 cents. Right now, it's under 40 cents. So it's retraced. So I'm not coming in buying something that just tripled. I'm buying something that, yeah, maybe it is doubled from this level right here. But, every coin doubles in its first day if it's solid. This is down a little bit, so I'd feel a little more comfortable.
And for you guys that don't know, Pyth is going to be like the institutional oracle. There's 75 institutions providing the data information. So this it is decentralized, decentralized to a scale, but this is like SIBO and your largest institutions providing exchange data backing this, which is interesting to watch. You have number 3 at Superfarm, which a lot of you heard of. We have 4 Cosmos with the interoperability. That's kind of following the Injective rhythm there. DYDX, I've never jumped into at all. I'm pretty sure that's the aggregator, correct? I've never actually even used it. But that was a huge trend last cycle. Then, of course, Solana.
And Bonk.
Bonk. Had to throw a meme coin in there, Had to throw a meme coin.
I'm starting to get a little bit more bullish on Bonk because people are wanting it to be a winner. That's sometimes all it takes.
That's true, especially with meme coins. And we have Crypto Lifer has it long term. He said, XNA for your information. XNA, is that not the one we were on? I'm going to pull up XNA, but then we have Vertex, which I actually haven't personally ever heard of here. And then we got the last one is they lied to us. There were only 7 on this list of 8 altcoins. Oh yeah, they slid it in there. We have Arax Holdings launches CBC20 core token to fuse real world assets with their crypto ecosystem. Arax Holdings announced that the successful deployment of CBC20 core tokens on the core blockchain on November 17th. So this is a new blockchain. I haven't personally actually done the dive into this project just yet. Are you a core fan at all with this blockchain ecosystem?
I haven't. Johnny be liking these. He'd be liking these new coins, but careful. This might be one you hear about in 3 months. Johnny has a pretty good track record, y'all.
Oh, dude, he kills it, and it's because this one's a fully decentralized, quotation marks, digital identity ensuring compliance and security, allowing any individuals or institution to attach any attribute in the form of tokenized assets through core token smart contracts. So this looks like one of those real world asset plays. And those are, I do believe, going to be a narrative, but that is going to ramp up over the next few years. Near Protocol overtakes Ethereum and Bitcoin in key activity metrics. We just talked about the development activity with the 10 list over there. But ultimately, guys, we have whales now starting to shift DEX tokens ahead of massive 505 million unlock. Man, I love having so much money in my wallet here. But Dydex, guys, a decentralized exchange, migrated from Ethereum to Cosmos and launched its own chain just last month. The new chain was developed as a standalone blockchain based on Cosmos's SDK, and the project is slated to unlock 150 million Dydex on December 1st. And traditionally, guys, when you get an unlock of that size, it's $500 million on an altcoin. We're talking about some serious downside unless you really trust those founders and VCs, and they're like, we're going to just hold through this.
No, I have the list here. A16Z Crypto, that's Andreessen Horowitz, Defiance Capital, and Polychain Capital. Yeah, VCs are probably going to dump, but a lot of times, I got this in a video. I'm kind of paraphrasing myself here. Everyone said the VCs were going to dump Solana when it went to $40, and a lot of them did dump Solana at $40, but a lot of them held on to $200. So some VCs, yeah, they're going to wait for that 4-year cycle.
Oh, so from the chat here, the super chat my man posted was from his first one. He said, Sam, I think you mean Sam. I know there's a content creator named Sam that was talking about XNA, and that's what it was. So appreciate
C9
and
for praying for Sam's family. It was heartbreaking seeing that. I had nothing but love for that guy.
Gotcha.
All right, can Euler Network beat privacy giants Monero and Filecoin with its 300x potential? The privacy community loves Monero. I will say that. But yeah, I would say there's always going to be some good privacy coins. So if you like privacy coins, I would check out Euler. However, VCs hate it, institutions hate it, sovereign nations hate it. It will be fought tooth and nail by governments and NGOs. So just be careful. The pumps might be a little bit muted with the privacy coins, but they'll probably pump opposite of other markets, right? So Bitcoin might be dumping, and then that's when you'll see privacy coins pumping a lot of times.
There'll always be a market for it, but the last few shows, we've talked about how they might be attacked by a lot of these government regulators. You just saw Tornado Cash. We didn't even know the token was still on Binance, but get removed. But I feel like you're going to always see that market try to be accessed, whether it's not in the United States or not. And here's, this is huge for Polkadot, but analyst thinks DOT will reclaim former glory with Polkadot 2.0. Will DOT break above immediate resistance here? Despite DOT's woes, one crypto trader, Ash Crypto Real, is bullish on the coin's prospects, pointing the eventual implementation of Polkadot 2.0, a critical update for the cross-chain network, taking to X on November 27th. Specifically, guys, Polkadot 2.0 represents an overhaul set to introduce several enhancements that could, if executed as stated, propel DOT above current resistance levels with rising DOT demand. The coin, and by extension, the platform, could soar, rising to its former glory as one of the leading blockchains with dense user activity.
I pulled up the weekly here. Looks like there's room to the upside. I will say that. So yeah,
that's a chart I like to buy.
Way to go for it to reach previous all-time highs, and it passes the DZ metric. That's very, very untechnical. Put in a second all-time high in the second half of 2021. I consider that just a pretty bullish metric. People really like the token. People weren't dumping it with the first Bitcoin pump and then just refusing to buy it again. So people were actually wanting to buy DOT. So yeah, DOT did good getting rid of its parachains auctions. Yeah, they're like most good coins, they're evolving.
Yeah, and you see that a lot, even now with Vitalik Buterin coming out and finally admitting that, the UTXO transactions were, he was in the wrong. And people like Charles Hoskinson were right in ways. And so we need to just grow together. We need to advance together. Guys, this is emerging technology. There's going to constantly be updates and changes and stuff that we have to do to make these networks better, especially if they become too more centralized or not scalable, etc. But here, guys, we have Dubai, one of the hubs of crypto now in the UAE, alongside Abu Dhabi. Web3 gaming sector gets a boost with We Made collaboration. The collaboration is part of Crown Prince Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's, I tried my hardest there, quest to make Dubai a global Web3 gaming hub here. South Korean gaming giant We Made has begun a collaboration with Dubai Chambers, a nonprofit entity, to enhance the development of blockchain gaming ecosystems in Dubai and wider UAE region. The deal was officiated through the meeting between the We Made CEO Henry Chang and the Dubai Chambers president and CEO, His Excellency Mohammed Ali Rashid Luta. So this partnership, guys, what I would watch for Dubai.
Hold up his net worth real quick. We want to share it.
Is it even public? Woo! Well, don't they have like those gold and like crystal credit cards if you're part of I don't know which families they are going to be, but like they have access to like unlimited money too on the back end for investments.
I'm not sure, but if anyone did, it was them. It would be them.
It would be them. Either way, guys, huge hub, gaming coming in. Pay attention to what's happening in Dubai here. This is a funny article because I'm curious to know if Richard Hart's going to come out of hiding for the mini trunk 6K exclusive for Louis Vuitton NFT Elite here. Merging luxury and digital fashion yet again. The iconic fashion powerhouse Louis Vuitton has revealed an exclusive offering for its already existing NFT owners, a limited edition virtual and physical mini trunk designed by the brand's iconic artistic director, Nicholas, etc. It's funny how the people that wear Louis Vuitton tracksuits and all have kind of this similar personality. They just truly suck. Only 200 privileged owners of a treasure trunk NFT will be able to adorn this stylish fashion item dubbed volatile trunk. So, guys, you got your fashion industry coming back into the NFTs.
Look, it's a Rubik's Cube. Let's be real.
Is it a Rubik's Cube?
Go back to the top.
Oh.
It's a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, I didn't even see that. There was like...
It's a trunk. It's
there's
a Rubik's
so much
Cube.
happening there. My eyes didn't even see that.
You know what? Let me go ahead and
it's actually
bold prediction. I think this will be successful. The reason why low supply is only 200 of them. So that's probably a low enough supply to make this popular.
Yeah, it's,
If there's only 2, I mean, it'd be wildly popular.
And
if there's 20,000, it would, create it to 0 almost. 200, I think current market can support that.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I'll hold my tongue there on that one. But yeah, the people will buy that.
You only need 200 out of 8 billion.
Yeah.
And really, it could be like 50 people and they buy 4 apiece,
And there's people out there that will do that to try to flex.
Think of Arnault's friends.
No reason.
Think of his social group. That he's the CEO behind all these luxury brands. He's one of the richest people in the world. Yeah, he's hanging around. I mean, one of his buddies, pinky ring jewelry can, mint out this entire collection. I wouldn't worry about this one minting out only 200.
Yeah, dude, there's going to be idiots that buy that. You see them, they're the same. Like I said, it is what it is. I would never do that. I don't know why I would do that. I'd rather spend that money on my kids and family, etc. But Azuki DAO rebrands to Bean for a meme-inspired future. Azuki DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization behind the OG NFT project, is reportedly changing its name to Bean as it rebrands. Now, if you guys don't remember this, I actually had Azuki and I had Beans. I did sell them. But this, I believe, was the airdrop of like 2021. It might have been 2022. Time goes by so quick here. But the name change represents a strategic realignment for the organization as it evolves into intriguing meme project.
I'm pretty sure they're just Orson Scott Card fans.
For Azuki?
Yeah.
Orson Scott?
DZ knows what I'm talking about.
Ender's Game, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on.
It's Bean. Come
Guys,
on.
I'm the accelerator reader nerd. I'll get the YA novel references. I did look up the CEO of Louis Vuitton, his net worth. Just a casual, right under $200 billion. He was at one point the richest person in the world.
Yeah, I don't
Bernard Arnault. I think I said Arnold Bernault. I said it wrong.
Like any of those, like, I don't know. I just don't get. Maybe I'm just not that fashion guy. I don't like those track shoots and anything. I just think it's cringe. That's just life and reality.
I wear the same 2 brands.
You buy like a $40,000 track shoot.
I wear Nike and Express because they're both relatively, compared to those, very, very cheap.
There's a reason why the best investors in the world, guys, and the best advisors drive a Toyota Corolla when they're 90 years old and they have, $4 billion in their bank account. Look at Elon Musk. He drives his own cars. It's not like he's driving around a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, Elon doesn't even own his own home. Part of it is for public relations. It's kind of smart.
He wears him, Mark, they all just wear like the basic black t-shirt.
All right,
and keep it simple.
You brought up Mark. Let's while we maybe get a couple Q&As in. I don't know if you saw Mark Cuban in the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen? There's ruminations that he might try to run for president.
What? How did I miss this?
Oh, have you not seen this?
How did I miss this?
Look at this. This is Dallas Morning News. Okay, go home. Go home. All right. Well, Dallas Morning News.
Are you sure you don't want to subscribe? I want to make sure.
Mark Cuban sells Mavs 3.5 billion majority stake. Presidential run next. This is from Sports Illustrated.
Oh wait, Mark Cuban, not. I thought you said Mark Zuckerberg.
No. Mark Cuban. So yeah, will Mark Cuban run for president? That's pretty interesting. Also, it was also in the news. Sports Illustrated was in the news because they had AI generated articles, but they threw in AI generated human pictures, trying to trick people into thinking this wasn't AI content. When called out on it, they deleted all the content.
So that way they won't have to hire any more models and, just...
Well, not for the swimsuit, for writing articles.
I don't know.
Actually writing
swimsuit
articles.
Edition. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
But would you guys vote for Mark Cuban over Trump or Biden? I think that would be the main 2 candidates.
He can't even manage a successful basketball team. Why would
if he hadn't got like rug pulled on multiple DeFi projects, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable voting for Mark Cuban, but he is that outspoken owner and I don't know. All right. Well,
Look.
which Shark Tank member would you rather have if it wasn't Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban or Kevin O'Leary, that's your only choice. Or Barbara. We'll throw Barbara up there too as well.
I mean, I'll
but
take
honestly,
QVC lady.
man,
I'll take the QVC lady.
Look, if any, like, I actually
Damon.
like Mark Cuban. I don't have like anything against him at all, like in that sense. But I think he's done some mishaps in the crypto sector for sure. But I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. I think Shark Tank is an OG, show to watch with your family and everything. It's like you could just yell at it with your family every single night. But the only person immediately I could see out of that would be just Trump. Why would you? I don't know. That would be interesting. Would you? That's the question.
I mean, I would vote over, someone. All right, if I had a choice between Mark Cuban and someone who doesn't know what room they're in most of the time, I'm gonna vote for Mark Cuban.
Okay, so if you had no other option,
I mean, if it came to energetic tan man, I'd have to see their debate. I don't have enough info. I'd want to see their debate.
Imagine Kevin O'Leary as president. He'd just be like, "We need to back the dollar." By FTD.
All right, I'm gonna do a little impression. I actually met Kevin O'Leary. I did his show. We were tweeting about it. It was a fun time. It was him and what's her name, Bethany Frankel had a show together, and it was called Money Court. And me and someone, we had to talk about this. So it was a Web3 court drama type thing, and they kind of ruled on it. Very, very sharp intellectually, very sharp mentally, and when they said action, I mean, he was on one take. I mean, he was the man. But when they called cut, and then Kevin O'Leary was walking around, I saw this at Bitcoin Miami. This is how he walks. He's like
bullish.
Wow, bullish.
It worried me almost. He moved so frailly.
Honestly, this not to toot his horn, but it's like, how old is he?
I'm looking it up right now.
He's probably pretty. He looks probably pretty good for his age, I would imagine.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Where's that? 69 years old. Okay, maybe that's pretty young. That's not anything. I thought he was gonna be like 75 or something. When it just shocked me.
Yeah, no. Congrats to Linda O'Leary beating the charges. She was not charged with manslaughter. I shouldn't joke about that. I shouldn't joke about that. I went there. I went dark. I'm sorry, y'all.
These guys are billionaires and have way more money than us, and sponsor us. Thank you, Shark Tank. All right, guys, that's really what we have for the news today. If you guys have any Q&A coming in, please let us know here. DZ just giving me the layups today for transitions. He goes from very dark to very happy and 90s jokes.
Just like transitions can go.
Oh my goodness. Wait, what? I don't know. I went to the wrong transition there. Snip, snip, snip. Most TV propaganda, guys. Shocked just because someone doesn't like Trump doesn't mean they like Biden too. Cut that thinking out. Yeah. Well,
I got out of party thinking probably 4 years ago. Big thanks to Naval Ravikant, really opening my eyes to. The main thing that really made me just get away from politics, party politics, is when they agree, 99% of the time it's against citizens' interest. And if you think about what do they agree on not stopping gerrymandering. That help U.S. citizens? No, they agree on not stopping dark foreign money coming into campaign contributions.
Is that
that's another thing that they agree on. Anytime they don't, they always agree on a pay raise. They always agree. So anytime they agree, I was just like, oh, wow. And, even look, they're in lockstep on Ukraine funding. Anytime they agree, it's just like I found myself on the other side of that thought. And it just really opened my eyes to, they're all crooks. And I know that's cliche to say, but it's really true on some level.
It's the game, right? Like you have to be able to compromise efficiently. And the only way you're going to be able to compromise is if you agree with the other side in certain senses and come to an agreement. So it's like you can't have it all one way and you can't have it all the other way. So then this is why you get massive political division. But it's really fun because I'm approaching it very nonpartisan.
Well, Vivek said it really well. I think just a few days ago, he said, it was on a podcast. He said, I don't want you to agree with me on everything. In fact, it would be a little bit weird if you agreed with everything I said. And then it really kind of, again, opened my eyes on party politics. Like, should I just agree with everything? Aren't I an independent human being, able to have my own independent thought? Why would I just, check mark, I agree. Doesn't really make sense as an independent thinker.
Yeah. So for all of you out there that have the family that, you might have the Fox News dad or the CNN mom or whatever it is, go into the parental guidelines and block the channel on their shows. So that way they have to watch MSNBC or just another news source for one day. You'll just watch their whole mind shift. Like, whoa. There's another world, it's
that would be funny, yeah. Block the party channel and force them to watch the other one. That would be good. That would be good.
That you start slow, the first week they're just mad. The second week they're like, huh. The third week they're like,
It's just a complete 180. You know, one grandma's got the MAGA hat on, you know, then you fast forward, she's like marching for Antifa, and you're like, what's happening? This doesn't make any sense. But all right, guys, you know, I think that's all we got. Guys, we got some really good altcoin videos coming out. Josh has been crushing the short, so make sure you turn on notifications, check out the shorts tabs. We've got a lot of good stuff going out there. My kids would watch about 15 seconds and walk out. Ray, they're going to do that. Let's do that. That'll just be funny. If you get it in on during a commercial break, it'll just be pharmaceutical ads. They won't be able to tell. And so they might actually watch like 5 minutes of content before they realize there.
And shout out to you for having 15 seconds. That's double the average, you know, attention span of children these days. So
that's 2 TikTok vids.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing, guys. Much
there.
Love.
All right, well, that's all we got. Hit that like button, smash it on the way out. El Jefe, I agree, but dang it, I'm still going to support the man. All right, that's all we got. Thank you for joining, everybody.
Have a wonderful day.
For Biscuit Jesus, we'll see you tomorrow.